love that new melody.
Let me explain. You see, the clothes that I had before,
When you're talking to a lady, you should take your hat off.
The rollicking romance of a gambling hoofer who loses his heart to a beautiful dance teacher in a merry mad chase of melody and mirth. To the lilting tunes of 6 hit songs by Jerome Kern and Dorothy Fields. The hilarious comedy of Victor Moore, Helen Broderick, and Eric Blore. Spectacular production numbers, stunning beauties, and the toe-tapping magic of the king and queen of captivating rhythm, Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers.
You're not going to run out with all our dough. I got to get married.
I wouldn't let you marry her for $10,000.
How about 20?
Not for $20,000.
25.
Lovely, never, never change. Keep that breathless charm. Won't you please arrange it, 'cause I love you just the way you look tonight. Just the way you look tonight.
And good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you, wherever you may be. It's time again, brought to you by Chronicalization.com, Chronicalization Video, and visitors like you. You are visiting with Mr. V. Oh, there we go. That's me. Good morning. Welcome to the Film List. Today, on the Film List, we're talking about Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers musicals. And we're going to begin today. I'm going to pop right back in here. We're going to begin today with our number one movie, our first movie on the list, which is called Top Hat. I'm going to give you a little breakdown on that. I took some notes. I watched it. And then we're going to bring in Daryl, and he's going to tell us about another Fred Astaire, Ginger Rogers musical. But as I get ready to go here, I took some notes, and as usual, I just kind of want to read through. Top Hat is a radio picture. It's so old, it doesn't even say RKO on it. This is from 1935. And what can I say? Musicals are not my favorite genre, but this one is pretty good. It shows the origins of the genre in vaudeville, and it advances it onto the silver screen, into the silver screen age. There are some lavish musical numbers, and then we've just got Ginger and Fred hoofing, and they're pretty amazing. The musical numbers are amazing. Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers do need to be mentioned in the same sentence because they are both technically amazing. They match each other just step by step, foot by foot. It's just amazing. And before we get into the plot, we do have to mention the music. The songs are written by Irving Berlin. Let me go over here and bring in my screen share so that we can take a look at where is he here? Hey, share it. What are you doing? Replace it. Do it. Do it. Share it. Nope, it doesn't want to do it for me. Why does it do that to me? I don't understand. There he is. Irving Berlin. Now you probably know the name Irving Berlin. You see the music that he's written here. But in this movie, Top Hat, there's there's the song Cheek to Cheek. And I don't want to get copyright banned for this episode, so I'm going to do my best to sing it for you a little bit. You might recognize this song. Heaven, I'm in heaven, and my heart beats so that I can hardly speak. And I seem to find the happiness I seek when we're out together, dancing cheek to cheek. You should recognize that. And if you don't recognize it, well, watch The Green Mile. That's what my fiance Desiree said. Oh, that's how I know that song. It's in The Green Mile, right? Anyhow, let's see what else we got here. The other half of the musical team here in this film is Max Steiner, and that's the man I really want to talk about here. Let's bring in Max Steiner. And you see, Irving Berlin wrote the songs. Max Steiner wrote the score. Max Steiner was one of the early film composers, and his work is emulated by names like Bernard Herrmann and Jerry Goldsmith. Now, some people want to bring up John Williams or Danny Elfman. I would say maybe Elfman is an offshoot of Herrmann, Goldsmith, but they both started here with Max Steiner. Now, I want to show you a little bit of his music. I don't want to get banned, but let's see if this will play real quick. Oh, that's not right. I had to click. And the favorite. Oh, did I skip the best part of it? There it is. Spectacular, spectacular music. Okay, let me bring myself back in here. Go back to my notes. So we're surrounded by some amazing talent here in this film, all the way back in 1935. Irving Berlin wrote a lot of songs for this, and I was gonna ask the question. I'm gonna ask Daryl in a minute. Are these standards? What is a standard? Are they standards now? Because Cheek to Cheek was written for this movie. The score is by Steiner. The music, let's see here. What else did I say here? Yeah. Musicals. So musicals aren't my favorite, but this one did pull me in with its comedy because I am a fan of the Marx Brothers, and this reminded me of one of those, kind of a screwball comedy. In fact, Night at the Opera by the Marx Brothers was released in this same year, 1935, and it also takes place in a theater. Kind of interesting. So let's just jump over here to our next tab here, because Fred Astaire plays Jerry. He's an actor, he's a dancer, and Ginger is Dale, an ingenue who's looking for a husband. I think that's the best way to characterize her in this role. Ginger Rogers is truly gorgeous, exuding a certain sensuality that is not easy to describe. And Fred Astaire looks so young. He looks exactly like the Warner Brothers caricature of him, so much that I kept expecting Bugs Bunny to walk in during one of these scenes. Now, I'm not going to play the music. You'll have to watch the movie yourself. Like I say, I don't want to get rights banned because this movie is not public domain. But let's skip over here to another shot, because I want you to take a look at a little bit of the plot. So the whole story is based around a mistaken identity. At first, they meet because Jerry just can't stop dancing. He's such a hoofer that he wakes her up in the apartment downstairs, and he's rooming with his business manager. And after he meets her, he stalks her. Yeah, I mean, there's no better way to say it. He stalks her. He pretends to be a cab driver. Here you can see, and whoa, wait a minute. I lost it. Hold on a second. Sorry, too many clicks on my computer today. He pretends to be a cab driver. He sends her a room full of flowers, and he charges it all to his roommate, to his business manager's account. And this is where the mistaken identity comes into play, because Dale thinks that he is this business manager, and at some point in the past, apparently, Dale made an inappropriate pass at this older guy, and so now she thinks that Fred is him. And he's wooing her, and she knows that he's married. So it's quite an interesting tale, and it takes us through some very funny scenes where one character will walk in just after another one leaves, and the timing is really quite impeccable. The mistaken identity gets played all the way to the end, with lots of flops and foibles around the side of Fred and Ginger, as none of their friends and enemies can seem to win, caught up in this literal dance. So those are my thoughts here on let me skip again here real quick here, and let's take a look at, actually that's the next one. Let's bring in Daryl, because I'm babbling a lot and I want to see what he has to say about this. Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
Pretty good.
Good. Let me pause this thing here. He's stalking her. I don't know what to say.
Well, I guess I'm impressed. You're giving it a better review than I thought you were going to.
Well, here's the thing. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to be totally snarky all the time, and with these older films, you just have to give yourself over to it, and it's pretty funny. There's some funny moments. I didn't mention the butler in this.
Yeah, the butler. That's the scene where I can't remember the guy, the older guy, the husband who is being mistaken for, or Fred Astaire is being mistaken for, gets punched in the eye, and he sends his butler off. Which is, I don't know, I remember in all these old movies, every time anybody got punched in the eye, they need a piece of meat to stick on their eye. I don't know where that.
There's lots of little bits like that in this movie. There's like a little 5-minute sequence where there's a little gag. The guy's and
so he sends his butler off to get him some steak to put on his black eye, and he brings it back with well done with onions on it.
Yeah, with onion. He's yes, potatoes and greens and cabbage. Yes. He brings it and he goes, "I've got your steak, sir. Where would you like it?" He says, "On my eye."
On your eyes, sir.
On your eyes. Do I have to say everything twice? On my eye. He puts a flaps of hot steak.
I mean, the thing about like I say, I didn't honestly. I thought you were really going to be snarkier than you are. It is. It's like these things. They're cotton candy. These movies.
Yeah.
They are just pure cotton candy. They're fun. The the plot is ridiculous and stupid, and it goes on and on forever. And you're like, if someone would just say one thing, it would blow up.
Yeah, they're just about to say it, and then the older guy, he's like, oh, well, now where was I? I've lost my place, and then
also,
they all move on.
You can tell that the studio spared no expense on the whole. In fact, almost all the movie takes place in Venice. You can tell that they spared no expense in shipping an entire production crew to Venice to get really lifelike, footage from Venice, right? You notice that?
Yeah, and right. I'm trying to find some footage over here. I would love to see. It's really hard to find scenes from this movie. He's being facetious, you guys. It's all a giant sound stage, right? It looks like the Wizard of Oz. It looks like the Munchkin Village from the Wizard of Oz.
But that's one of the things I say about these movies is the sets are they're you can eat off those floors. To me, and I think I said that in the book, it reminds me of kind of like Dr. Caligari, where it's like the set's so fake, but it adds to the story by being fake. Because if they actually shot this on location, it just wouldn't feel right.
So obviously it was all done inside of a soundstage. It's all just very contrived.
It's all very fake. And the other thing, it needs to be pointed out that this is the height of Depression era escapism. It's just
right.
People come in, have a rough life, and they come in and they watch Fred Astaire walking around in tuxedo for an hour and a half.
Yeah. Leave your cares behind and just watch them dance.
And that picture there of Fred with Ginger Rogers in that ridiculous feathered dress. It's just
Okay, so but see, I let me go like this here because I want to talk to you more like this, like this. Get out of there, you silly thing. Whatever. Here, let's just go like this. That dance sequence, that's cheek to cheek. I'm in heaven. When we're dancing, and she's swirling around, and I don't even hate to say it, I was totally caught up in it. Her dress is all flowing around, and I'm like, wow, she's like an angel in heaven. I get it. I see it.
Yeah.
And even they're staying in the bridal suite. The two men, because there's a place that's open in the hotel, right? That's the first right. And then that comes up later. But all the walls are white. There's like a harlequin painted on the door. Everything's very ethereal, I guess is the right word for it. Yeah. So it
is, and it's to me, I actually just love these movies. This is probably the apogee of their films. It's. I actually was looking at Swing Time that came later, and they were saying that the profits were kind of actually starting to decline by then. So I think I think Top Hat was kind of the peak.
That's a year later.
Yeah. Wow. It made one of the things it said was it made profit, but it was they spent a lot more money on them. And so it a little more needed to make a little more money to be profitable. So anyway, I like these movies. I think I said in the book that they are kind of like Marx Brothers movies where it's like, which one do you like? It's like which one has which gag in it? You know what I mean? For these, it's like which one has which production number in it.
This one's dancing cheek to cheek, and then there's this. They were really trying to push that Piccolino. He plays the Piccolino, and I'm just like, that's so obnoxious, man. I can see why.
Yeah, that
we don't remember that song.
Yeah, that one, and the other one is wouldn't it be nice to be caught in the rain or whatever? It's something where they dance in the rain.
Yeah,
something like that.
Here, where's that? Actually, I'm right on that scene here. If I can get over to it, come on, jump in there. Yeah, it's right.
I think it's after that. Right there.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, it's here, and they're in the rain, and then they do go into this hole. This is the first time I fell asleep. I'll be honest with you guys. I watch these movies at the end of my day, which tends to be about now, usually 10, 11, 12 o'clock. I go to bed because I work overnight. I teach online, and so. Yeah, I got to this scene and I just kind of rolled over. I'm like, okay, here we go.
All right, well, yeah.
So I caught up with it the next day, and it took me about 3 days to get through it. But that's not a negative statement. It's just that I fall asleep.
For an 80-minute movie,
it's not very long. Yeah, it's really and
it's
like
just I don't know. It's just it's fun. It's just fun. I really like the way they way that and I'll repeat the famous. It's been said to death. If you know anything about these old movies, you've probably heard this quote. It's attributed to Katharine Hepburn, who said that Ginger gave Fred sex appeal and Fred gave Ginger class.
See, that's because that's kind of the role she is in this movie. She's like she's just a chick trying to get a husband, and that could be kind of looked down on.
And some of her movies, she was in some other Warner Brothers musicals before this. She was actually very talented. She won an Academy Award as an actress, so she was actually very talented.
What was that for? Do you know what movie that was?
Kitty Foyle, which is a drama.
Okay.
Later on.
Before, after this.
After this, I think it's 1940 or 41.
Okay.
But she was before this. She was in some other Warner's musicals, the Busby Berkeley musicals, and she plays kind of. I mean, she's a little more, I don't know what the word is. I don't know, sleazy, but a little more
saucy.
Yeah, whatever, something like that. And so these, they dress her up in these gowns, and definitely she kind of has some class. And I think the other way, it's like, Fred Astaire is not a, I don't know. I mean, the early assessments, he's kind of dorky looking guy, and so
that's
forth.
kind of what I was saying. I mean, that's my first reaction was Ginger. I was like, "Ooh, she's kind of sexy." But he just looked like a cartoon character, man. He's just so, and then he's always like, "Hey," he's got this. He's just. It's his look, I guess. Really, what? No, not David Lynch.
So,
we'll talk about that later.
I mean, we don't have to.
So let's move on. Let's move on to your film.
Swing Time's the same thing. It's just, it's the same thing. There's a thin plot of him going to New York. Is this the part where he does it? So he goes to New York. She's a dance teacher, and he goes and he's smitten with her. And he goes in there and he trips all over the place and makes a mess of it. He gets her in trouble, and that's this scene where he comes back and the guy's going to fire her. He says, "Oh no, she taught me so much in my first lesson." So this is presumably after their first lesson together, and they do this whole little bit.
They get a chance to dance, and show off.
Yeah. And then the rest of the film is him chasing after her and her resisting it, and then. In the end, I think he gets the girl.
I think that's the guy. Hang on a second. Wait. That's the guy who plays the butler in the other film.
Eric Bloor. Yeah, he's the butler in the other movie.
He's funny. He's in all these different disguises because he's been assigned to watch Dale and see what she's doing, and so he's
so always... now in Swing Time, Fred is I guess he's a professional actor, dancer, and top hat also. But in this one, he's a professional dancer, and so he there's a whole subplot with he's trying to make money to bring out his fiance so he can get married. But then he meets Ginger Rogers, and
what is that? That's
that direction instead. And then there's some good numbers in this. So I think is it A Fine Romance is in this one?
Yeah, hang on. Let's go back to our PowerPoint here, to our presentation, because I do have some notes on it. Let's go. Swing Time, 1936, black and white. Let me go back real fast. I always like people to know that Top Hat is available free streaming on Roku Classic Comedy Channel. I had to watch it on my Roku. It's not really; these films are not readily available, and this one I couldn't get it. How did you watch it?
I didn't watch it this week. I think I probably paid for it when I watched it before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyhow, directed by George Stevens, and there's your music down there.
Yeah. So he, The Way You Look Tonight. I think you played that a little while ago. Where she's has a head full of shampoo, and he's playing this. That's a nice little ballad. A Fine Romance is kind of that one. That's a nice number. It's just there's no dancing involved.
I will feel a glow just thinking of you.
Okay, let's cut it there. We don't want to get.
And then Fine Romance, and then the other one is okay. So in this movie, there's the highlight of the film. Really, is a production number that Fred does called Bojangles in Harlem, which he is a tribute to Bill Bojangles Robinson, who was a black tap dancer. He was in. He's been. I think he was mostly like in live theater. I think he was in some Shirley Temple films, and I think he made some films anyway. So, the problematic thing now is that it's done in blackface, and so people don't really want to see that.
Yeah,
but it's quite a. You showed it. You were showing the trailer before, and it showed a part of it. If you could find that piece of it, it's
back there. Hold on.
So it's.
Is it in here? Is it in the trailer?
Yeah, I saw it. Maybe it's toward the end. That right there.
Oh, okay.
So what that is a production number. Where you can see what it is. He's dancing with his shadow. So it took 3 days to film this number, and obviously what it is he danced the part 4 times. 3 times, once he did it, I guess, with the shadow, where they just filmed the shadow with lighting, and then they projected those on the screen and had him dance in front of it. And so it's actually quite an amazing production number.
Yeah, it's really kind of. I'm amazed how caught up I was in some of the dancing of this. Really is it's amazing. He's just dancing, but you're like, whoa, how does he do that?
He was quite something. So and then there's that nice little number. Anyway, so again, it's kind of cotton candy. It's light entertainment. There's some nice nice little numbers here, and I don't know what to say about it. It's a good way to spend an hour and a half just getting caught up in something silly, I guess.
Yeah, something we might need at this time.
To me,
a lot of people are looking for some pressure release.
Right. They made 10 films together. Yeah. And I think these 2 were probably their best. I don't know. I guess in my opinion they are. Top Hat is I would say probably their peak.
I think that's what I saw in terms of critical opinion. Although it's interesting, Top Hat didn't win any awards. And again, it seems like this is what happens, right? It's nominated for Best Picture. It's nominated for Best Song. It doesn't win those. Then this comes out and it wins Best Song.
It wins Best Song, yeah.
And it's a great song, but so is Cheek to Cheek.
Yeah.
And then you say this movie wasn't terribly successful at the box office.
Well, what it said in Wikipedia, it said something like it was. I think it made less money. I don't know. I can't find it. I think it said it made less money than the other ones. But it also, I think that shadow number probably cost a lot of money, so it had a higher budget. So I think they're still profitable. They still made good money on these things, and they kind of did a few more, and then
let's talk about those.
Kind of got to the end of the franchise, and they moved on. She wanted to do more. Drama. She wanted to do more serious stuff. and so she did that, and then he kind of went off and started. He did a lot of musicals over at MGM, and then he kind of, I guess, in the late 40s, kind of fell out of. And I shouldn't say that. I think at one point I read at one point he retired, which lasted about a year, and then he came back and did a lot more. And then he did a lot of those 50s. There was a huge revival of musicals, and so he was in a lot of those. And then I think by the end of the 50s, he kind of was done dancing. By then, I think he's probably 60 years old, so maybe he's kind of done.
Again, that's the Fred Astaire I remember.
He did some dramatic roles. He started being a dramatic actor after that. So
see, I remember this guy.
Is that Finian's Wake?
That's Finian's Rainbow.
Finian's Wayne Rainbow. I've never seen that, but I saw that he was in that. Yeah,
I actually played that role in high school. Believe it.
Oh, did you?
I had a hat just like that and everything. But he does very little dancing in that. I think his legs were very old by then.
Yeah.
But okay, so going back, just some highlights I wanted to mention. Flying Down to Rio was the first movie where Ginger and Fred were together.
That's a fun little movie. It's kind of goofy. They don't have a huge role. They aren't the stars.
No,
but that's a fun little movie. The Gay Divorcee is pretty good.
Yep, and then Shall We Dance was
Shall We Dance is okay. To be honest with you, that's what I said. They're kind of like Marx Brothers. They all kind of run together for me. I can't. The plots are always so thin, and it's just like which production number is which.
Or is this the one that's on the road, or is this the one that's in Venice? And he's always an actor. He's always smitten with her, and then there's always a straight woman kind of over there getting beat up because they're trying to help, but they just
Yeah, exactly.
So. Good stuff. What can I say?
Yeah.
We got about 3 more minutes here. I think we're going to have a short show today.
All right.
I kind of predicted that, but we do.
I did want to point out, your friend Roland didn't show up, but
Roland, are you here?
He dropped the bomb that Fred Astaire was born in Austria, and I'm like,
he's not. No.
So I'm like, no, I didn't think so, but I didn't want to say anything. Well, I looked it up. Actually, did you look it up?
No, I actually, you know what? I got onto my Xbox right after that, and I was talking to Roland.
So his father was born in Austria.
Yeah.
And his birth name was Austerlitz.
Yes.
And it turns out that he was that very stereotypical showbiz mom is from a very early age. His father was just a laborer or something like that. His mother decided that he and his sister should become entertainers, and so she put him in dance classes.
Oh, wow.
And he and his sister is actually a dancer, and brought him up I saw a picture of him at like 8-10 years old.
Wow. No wonder he's such a
dancing in showbiz. And so she was the showbiz mom. They actually moved to New York so that when they were like 10 to put him into showbiz. And he and his sister were they were dancing on Broadway, I guess, as like teenagers. His sister ended up marrying and retiring, but he obviously had a lot of success.
Yeah. Wow. Well,
sometimes you push your kids and they end up being Fred Astaire. Other times they kind of end up
becoming Prince Charles.
Exactly.
They get just angry about it, right? You ever watch the Crown on Netflix?
No, I never watched that.
You might like it. You might get into it. I got pulled in, and I just kind of had to keep watching. There's 6 seasons of it. Anybody in the chat? Anybody? Do you like Fred Astaire movies? What do you think? Do you like musicals? We can open the idea here. Would you like to see more musicals on the film list? I'm going to look at what we've got coming up next here. Let's see.
What are we going to do next week now?
We've got French New Wave. Oh, the Coen brothers, dude. The Coen brothers. Let's do the Coen brothers.
You want to do Coen brothers? This is
Blood Simple, Miller's Crossing, Barton Fink. Let's do 2 of them. It's been a long time since I saw Barton Fink. I love that movie.
Why don't we do Miller's Crossing and Barton Fink? And I mean, Blood Simple is actually, that's their first film. That's actually a really good film, but it's not, you know, it's not quite as mature as the other films. So
okay, then I'll get back to you and I'll let you know which one of these I can get a hold of.
Okay.
Miller's Crossing, Barton Fink next week.
Well, these are not going to be. Yeah, you're going to have to pay for these, I'm sure.
Probably. Yeah. Well, whatever. There's a bookstore down the street. I'm going to have to buy a copy of these eventually, and I need to have a hard copy, I think. I guess that's kind of it. How are things going at Chronicalization Video, by the way? I always want to mention your.
Good. I set up my new website, and I've been running some ads, and I'm getting some interest, and that's good. So I'm just kind of keeping it going. So yeah, it's good.
Visit Chronicalization Video, guys, for Chronicalization.
There's your mother.
Read. That's my mom. Yes. I actually like this clip you have.
Imagine you had a movie with your grandmother talking about her life.
And then there's my mom.
And then yeah,
her life.
I was really pleased with that. That video. It's I mean, she looks good. Good lighting. Good blur in the background.
Yeah, this is just the example. Like, what if you had this video and then there's my mom?
There you go.
Yeah, cool. Anyways, I'm gonna jump out of here.
All right.
Because I'm gonna go ahead and I've got some more stuff to do today. And what do you think, guys? What do you think? Leave a comment in the chat, even in the restream. I'll be restreaming this later today. But that's it for now. Thank you for joining us on the film. Where's my music? Where's my music?
Yeah, outro music.
I get this free music off of YouTube Studio. I kind of like this. I thought it was nice. Yeah. So thank you for joining us. Today's guest, Daryl O'Grady, hosted by me. I'm Mr. V, Brian Vanderswag. The film list is brought to you by Chronicalization Video and visitors like you at patreon.com. Thank you so much. Bye for now.
All right. See you later.